If you're sitting on the edge of your couch wondering whether you should splash out on a high-end home theater bundle or keep the budget tight, you're not alone. The fear of spending a lot of money only to end up with a system that sounds great on paper but falls flat in the living room is real. I get that hesitation, especially when you've probably already watched a few YouTube unboxings that sound too good to be true. So, before you click add to cart, let's walk through what you actually get with the Klipsch Reference Premier RP8000 FII 3-speaker floor standing set, the RP504 CII center channel, and an Onkyo TXNR 6100 7.2 channel receiver. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, a quick reality check on the category. When you're assembling a home theater system, the speakers are the soul, but the receiver is the brain. It's the part that decides how much power goes to each driver, handles decoding of surround formats, and ultimately decides whether your movies sound immersive or just noisy. The Klipsch speakers in this bundle promise big, dynamic sound thanks to their trademark TRACTRIX horn for the tweeters, a linear travel suspension, LTS, titanium tweeter, and new CERAMETALLIC woofers. On the receiver side, the Onkyo TXNR 6100 brings THX Select Certification, which means it's been tested to meet certain thresholds for channel separation, low-frequency handling, and overall fidelity. The question is whether these features translate into a nighttime that feels cinematic without demanding a dedicated media room. Who should consider this bundle? If you already have a medium-sized to large living room, think 1520 SQM, and you enjoy watching action movies, sports, or high-budget streaming series that make use of a 5.1 or 7.1 mix, this system gives you the tools to hear every explosion, dialogue line, and subtle background effect. The floor-standing RP8000 FII speakers are tall enough to sit at ear height when you're seated, which helps with imaging and makes the big room feel more natural. The center channel, RP504 CII, is essential for clarity of vocal tracks, so if you've ever been annoyed by muffled dialogue on a big-screen TV, you'll notice a real improvement. The Onkyo receiver's THX certification also reassures you that the dynamics won't be crushed, you'll still get those sudden high-volume peaks without distortion. Who should skip it? If you live in a small apartment or a bedroom where wall reflections are a major issue, the size and power of these speakers could become a problem. The floor-standing designs are built for bigger spaces. In a tight room they may overwhelm the space, causing bass to become booming and the high frequencies to feel harsh, especially when you crank the volume. Also, if you're primarily a music-only listener who doesn't care about surround, you might get more bang for your buck focusing on a pair of high-quality bookshelf speakers and a stereo amplifier rather than a full 5.1 bundle that includes a subwoofer, which this particular package does not provide. Without a dedicated sub, the low-end performance will rely heavily on the floor speakers, which can be a limitation for true bass lovers. Now let's talk practical strengths. The biggest benefit I've seen from the Klipsch design is the combination of the TRACTRIX horn and the LTS titanium tweeter. In simple terms, the horn helps direct the high frequencies more efficiently toward the listening area, resulting in a crisp, detailed treble that stays clear even at higher volumes. In a real-world test like watching a recent superhero film, the dialogue stayed intelligible while the orchestral score stayed bright and didn't become shrill. The CERAMETALLIC woofers add a tight, controlled bass punch, which means you get that thump on a car chase without the bass leaking all over the house. That can be a huge plus if you want to keep the neighbors happy while still feeling the impact. The Onkyo receiver's most tangible strength is its flexible connectivity. It supports a variety of HDMI inputs, including eARC, so you can pull in 4K video from a modern streaming device without sacrificing audio quality. Additionally, the built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth give you easy streaming from phones or tablets, meaning you can use the system not only for movies but also as a multi-room music hub. For someone who likes to throw a party and stream a playlist directly from their phone, that convenience can't be overstated. The THX Select badge also gives you confidence that the receiver can handle the demanding dynamic range of high-resolution audio formats like Dolby Atmos, which the Onkyo processes natively. On the flip side, there are a couple of practical weaknesses to keep in mind. First, the whole bundle is fairly heavy. Each floor-standing speaker weighs close to 30 pounds, and the Onkyo receiver sits at the upper end of what most standard TV stands can support. If you're planning to do a DIY installation, you'll likely need a wall mount or a sturdy piece of furniture. This isn't a system you just set on a flimsy TV cabinet without thinking. Second, the setup process can be a bit of a learning curve if you're not familiar with calibrating a surround system. while the Onkyo has